Wow! Oh! Ah! Ow! Oh! Ow! Oh! Ah!
So guess how long that we waited? Guess how long that we waited, folks? About another 20 minutes, I would say. About another 20 minutes, we just sat around doing nothing. So now for a grand total, we've been in this place for almost 3 hours, okay? Almost 3 whole hours. Finally, who comes in the room? The doctor, right? The doctor comes in and says, oh, let's see. No, the nurse comes back in. The same nurse that gave us the sandwich. Oh, well, we had your blood pressure monitored this whole time. Your blood pressure looks fine. Everything looks good. She turns off all the machines. She says, okay, you can go. Wait, that's it? So you're not going to prescribe a medication? You're not actually going to do any tests? You're not going to do anything? That we just waited 3 hours. All you did is you gave her a pill, which you could have fucking done, and just left her somewhere. There was no reason for her to come to the emergency room whatsoever, because they did nothing. They didn't actually help her in any way besides just give her a pill. So we wasted over 3 hours in this emergency room. That was it. That was it. And then we're like shocked. We're actually shocked that this is it. This is the whole treatment that we got. So we're walking towards the front of the hospital. And there's this area here that says, if you are, being, what's the word? Discharged, you have to stop here. So we stopped there, and the woman, and she looks around the corner, she says, hi, she said, well, did the nurse give you the paperwork that said what you're here for? And we're like, yeah, here's the paperwork about anxiety. Okay, bye, see you later. That was it. So 3 hours in a hospital, in an emergency room area, nothing whatsoever useful was done whatsoever to Leanna. The drug that they gave her to help her was an hour earlier. That's American healthcare. Now, by the way, I guarantee you, we don't know what the bill is because we don't have it yet. They're going to mail it, obviously. I guarantee you it's going to be like $1,000. I'm not even exaggerating. I guarantee you that bill's going to fucking show up, and it's going to be anywhere between $500 to $1,000. I guarantee it. Yeah, she has insurance. She actually is covered in insurance because she's already under the plan of her mother. That was one of the things that Obamacare actually helped with, is that it allows people who are young enough to be covered up to the age of 26 under the health insurance plan of their parents. So she's still covered under her mother. But I guarantee you, we're going to get a giant bill in the mail. For nothing. For a pill. But they could have just handed her the pill and said $80 for the pill or whatever. But instead they had to bring her to the fucking hospital and they did nothing. They literally did nothing to help her. And now she's gonna get a giant bill. So there you go. Isn't that a great story, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that great? I mean, it's just such a great American healthcare system, right? So now she's zonked out. She's sleeping, in the room because of, everything. She's still on the pills that made her all loopy or whatever. So, I mean, we did. On the way home, I stopped and we got food. We grabbed, like, chicken sandwiches and we just ate them and now she's sleeping. So that's what happened. Unbelievable. Like...
Oh my God.
The thing is, I know if this ever happens again, I'm gonna tell them, you are not allowed to bring her to the hospital. No, you get no permission to fucking do it. You can't give her a pill. You want to give her a pill, give her a pill, and that's it, because you're just gonna waste our time again. You didn't help us at all. What I thought, when they said counselor, I thought they were gonna have like an actual psychiatrist or counselor come in and talk, and let's talk, maybe I could talk it out and help you with some of your stress or your issues, or maybe something happened at work in particular that you could talk through that could help you so that you can get that stress relieved and it doesn't happen again. That was the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life. That woman could have been anyone. That woman could have been the fucking janitor that just walked in. Who knows? Because she had no knowledge besides what she had on a piece of paper. And by the way, the article, and this is not even an exaggeration, the article they brought in about anxiety was from 1996. A 21-year-old outdated article from the Mayo Clinic about anxiety. Let's get back to my story to recap and to get you right up to speed on where we were. All right? I'm talking about May 1st. I unlinked my DSP Gaming and KO Gaming channels from Curse because I was looking to take the KO Gaming channel and partner it with this new network, Poltavi, and see if they were going to live up to their promise of making a managed partnership, and if that went through, then I was going to link DSP Gaming, alright? That was my plan from the get-go. Unfortunately, YouTube changed the whole system of linking channels, of putting ads on channels on videos, alright? And sadly, I couldn't do it right away. What I had to do was I had to create a Google AdSense account for each channel, because that was what YouTube's instructions said to do. They didn't say, do you have an existing? They said, create a new Google AdSense for each channel and link it to it. Once a Google AdSense is linked to each channel, then you'll be approved for monetization, and you can link to an MCN or just run your own ads through your own personal Google AdSense. Why that is the case, I have no idea, because if you have every intention of going with a partner network, there's no reason whatsoever for you to need a Google AdSense. You're never going to run your own ads. It's always going to be the partner network ads, so it makes no sense. This process was completely fucking broken and made no sense whatsoever, okay? But this was the process. Now, I found this out on Monday, when, Poltavi, this new MCN that I was going to try out, was trying to link KO Gaming with their network, and it didn't work. They were getting an error saying it must be approved for monetization first. So I'm like, this sucks, okay? So that Monday, I applied for first DSP Gaming, then KO Gaming for AdSense accounts. Get what happened. Here's what happened. I got a message saying KO Gaming was approved, Then I got a message saying DSP Gaming was denied because you had just applied for a new AdSense account with that same name and address for KO Gaming, and you can't have 2 AdSense accounts at once. One individual person at one address in the United States cannot have 2 AdSense accounts, only one. So why didn't it just say that to begin with? Never said that when I was doing these. I was just going through the instructions that were instructing me to create a new AdSense account for each one. But the question here really, alright, is, and this is what makes no sense, okay? Why did KO Gaming get approved for AdSense before DSP Gaming? I applied for DSP Gaming a full 45 minutes before KO Gaming, and KO Gaming got approved like that, while DSP Gaming ended up getting denied later. So even their own system, the order that they process incoming requests, is flawed and fucked up. YouTube's system is innately flawed, okay? So, KO Gaming had an AdSense linked to it, no problems, right? So, I did notify Poltavi, and I said, let's link KO Gaming. This was Tuesday, May 2nd. Follow the timeline here. Let's link KO Gaming, and then let's start the process to get into the managed partnership. Oh, they said, okay. So, they said they're going to send an invite. So, I'm waiting. Finally, about halfway through the day, this thing pops up, and it says,
Laria Media has invited you to their network. I'm like, who the hell is Laria Media?
I'm working with a company called Poltavi. Every contract I ever signed said it was the company I was partnered with is Poltavi. And that's the company I searched on the internet, and I couldn't find any information about whatsoever, okay? All of a sudden, I get an invite from this other company, Laria. I don't know who the hell they are. So I go back to them, and I say, what is this? And they go, oh, that is our partner company. They handle all of our technical requests and technical stuff. So that's why you got that invite. So yes, you should accept that invite. Now, immediately, I smelled a huge red fucking flag. I knew there was something up there. If I'm contracted with one contract here that says one company, and you send me an invite from another company, obviously that's wrong. That is fake. That is false. There's no way. And I knew that. But here's what I knew. Number one, I knew I wasn't going to upload any videos to KO Gaming in the near future anyway. I had no real reviews or anything to put out, so I knew there was no real risk involved. And number two, YouTube has a new thing. A lot of people don't know about this. YouTube has a new system by which if you partner any channel, all right, with a network, you have the ability to sever that partnership immediately. However, for legal reasons, YouTube leaves it so that the quickest that you can absolutely have it severed is 30 days. So let's say, for example, you partner with a company, you're with them for 2 months, they fuck you over and don't pay you, you can sever it, and then in 30 days, that channel will be released, or you can ask the company to do it even quicker, and then they'll do it even quicker usually, okay? So, that's the deal, alright? And by the way, I've seen people in the stream chat saying stuff like, have I talked to a Dan Warren or a Kieran Johnson? No, I never heard of those people. Never heard of, one guy that I talked to, his name was Dylan, and then the other guy who supposedly was supposed to be the CEO of Poltavi, his name was Dibio or something like that. I never spoke. It was always through Skype or through email, so I don't even know if these people were even in the US. Maybe they're in fucking, you know, Taiwan or something, and they're completely lying about who they really are. I have no idea, okay? Okay. So, I said, here's what I'll do. Since I know there's already a protection in place, for the sake of it, just in case maybe this really is the most disorganized, fucked up company on the planet, but just maybe they actually have the clout to get me a managed partnership, I'm going to accept this invite on KO Gaming. I'm going to demand that they actually make it managed like they promised me. And if they follow through with their promise, then I'll consider, once DSP Gaming gets the issue cleared up with AdSense, partnering DSP Gaming with this company. But let's see what happens with KO Gaming, alright? So, I did. I accepted their invite, and as of Tuesday, May 2nd, KO Gaming was partnered with supposed to be Poltavi, but in reality it was this company called Laria that I'd never heard of and apparently had never spoken to any employees of. Okay, so, that was as of Tuesday. Now, technically, here's the thing. I wasn't partnered with them. There was no legal agreement. We had no contract between myself or KO Gaming or Laria. There was no standing agreement. So really, there was no legal responsibility for anyone to hold up to any agreement. By the way, the contracts I signed, as I'd already mentioned, didn't even have the web addresses of the YouTube channels on them, so the contracts weren't even legal either. The whole thing smelled to high heaven like a botched deal, and it was just either people that were really amateurs or unprofessional, or they were trying to pull something, you know, trying to be a scam artist or whatever. Okay. So, at that time, when KO Gaming became partnered with Laria, which really it wasn't, it was a phantom agreement that didn't really legally exist, what happened was that Tuesday, as I was streaming, people started to search, and what they do is they look at the metadata of YouTube, and they go, oh, in the metadata of the videos on KO Gaming, it says that Phil was partnered with Laria Media on KO Gaming, and they start spamming everywhere on the internet about this. They start spamming social media, and fucking, you know, on the stream chat, and on my videos, the detractors are out in force. Did you hear Phil's with this company, Laria? Did you hear what this Phil is with Laria? And it was hilarious, because they're like, DSP Gaming's it's with it too, and everything. That was completely false. That never happened. So all of a sudden it all explodes, right? And of course now they're like, well, we want to do research on this company and find out who they are, and they start to do research on this company, all right? So that was what, Tuesday. At that moment that KO Gaming got partnered, I messaged my contacts at Poltavi again, and I said, now listen, you promised me the managed partnership. I got this done. Let's get the managed partnership going here, because DSP Gaming isn't even cleared yet with the AdSense issue. Let's get the managed partnership going on KO Gaming. And immediately, all right, immediately, the response I got changed completely from what I was promised before I had partnered KO Gaming. The moment that I brought it up, after I had partnered, not partnered, because it wasn't partnered technically legally, it was just linked to Laria on YouTube, the response I got was, oh, well, see, here's the thing. We could eventually get you into a managed partnership, but since Poltavi is such a small network and we're looking to recruit people, we need to recruit more people. We need to recruit more people to our network and get more people under our umbrella, because once we have a full force of people bringing in tons of views every day, then we'll have more clout with YouTube, and then we'll vouch for you, and we'll try to get you the managed partnership. And I was like...
Immediately, I was like, what?
Like, what? Are you serious? Like, this sounds like a fucking stink job of bullshit now, right? Ooh. So, that, I get that fucking bullshit response, right? In the meantime, as I said, all of my detractors and naysayers and people are basically spamming social media saying, Phil's with Laria. Laveria's a bad network and they're terrible. Why would they bring in Phil? They're probably a scam. They said all this negative shit, just like they had done, like I had mentioned, with this other network that I was looking to partner with back in February, who had to totally cancel the whole thing that they wanted to do with me because of the negative attention. These people, yet again, did the same exact thing with this Laria company and spammed everywhere that Laria is terrible and how could they get DSP and all of this shit, okay? So as this is happening, the people from Poltavi, all right, contact me and say, did you mention that you signed with Laria Media? And I said, no, I have not said anything about, you know, that I'm with any, I've not mentioned a name or anything yet, nothing. None of that has been mentioned at all. What happened is people are probably pulling the metadata from the channel and finding it that way because it is public knowledge. And this guy who I'm talking with is like shocked. He couldn't believe that that data exists. He was under the impression that when you partner with a network, it's a secret, right? Now, we all know that's stupid. I mean, Social Blade can find that data almost immediately, usually, right? So it's so dumb that this guy didn't even know that people were going to publicly know that I had been partnered with their company, okay? Even though, I wasn't. So, he's like, well, I don't know, this is kind of bad because we're getting all this bad social media blowout and all of this. And I'm like, listen, that's like the least of your worries, all right? Like, these are just people who are just trolling right now, but you promised me you were going to put me in a managed partnership. We have a contract saying you're going to do it. Are you going to do it or not? And basically, the guy completely blew me off for the rest of Tuesday and would not answer, okay? So, in the meantime, all right, the day passes. Now it's Wednesday, May 3rd, all right? Now it's Wednesday, May 3rd. And now, DSP Gaming, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to solve this issue with DSP Gaming, right? I'm trying to figure this out and I can't figure it out because DSP Gaming is linked to an AdSense account that was denied because you can't have two AdSense accounts, right? And I'm trying to manually link DSP Gaming to the other AdSense account from KO Gaming that was approved, and the system won't let me fucking do it. I'm trying, and it's saying error. No matter what I do, it just links me back to the defunct account. So I'm furious. I'm losing my mind. I'm going to rip my hair out, but the YouTube channel claims that it's under review. So I actually email YouTube support and I say, can you please confirm that my channel is under review and that it's going to be approved for monetization, despite the fact that it looks like I can't fix this issue with the AdSense. And YouTube support, creator support, came back to me and said, yes, we confirm 100% that your DSP Gaming channel is under review, and if the content is approved, you will be approved for monetization. Don't worry about the AdSense. Okay, sounds great to me, right? Now, during the course of Wednesday, I'm also constantly pinging Poltavi. I'm saying, are you going to put KO Gaming to the managed partnership? And then now basically they're saying, again, completely changing the tune, well, there's no way that they could give me the managed partnership now. There's no way. Because it takes a long time and they don't have enough clout to do it. And I'm like, you have contractually promised me you would do it. It says right in the contract, you will sign me to your normal partnership and then, flip me over to the manage. It doesn't say eventually. It doesn't say when we finally have capability. It says you will do it upon execution of this contract. Therefore, legally, you're obligated to do it. And the guy's basically like saying, but there's so many other reasons to be with us. We're going to go out to ad companies and we're going to buy ads and we're going to bring in advertisers to our network that are going to pay you more money than if you did it with another network. And we're going to do, we have this music partnership that you could get free music. Basically trying to spin it in every possible way that I would still want to stay with them, even though they had promised me the managed partnership, and within one day of me being with them, basically completely reneged on the whole thing. So as of Wednesday night, okay, as of Wednesday night, we still had no resolution. And so what I did is Wednesday night, I was waiting all night, like what's going to happen? I get an email in the middle of the night, Wednesday night, saying YouTube has declined your application and you cannot get ads on DSP Gaming because you don't have a valid AdSense. And I'm like, their support line just fucking told me that that was not going to be an issue and that it would basically be approved, and now I got denied because of it. And I got to do a massive shout out to longtime viewer and longtime fan Jelsey, because Jelsey scoured the internet and he actually found out another issue. Now, the situation he found out wasn't to do with YouTube channel specifically, but someone else on the internet recently had tried to make an AdSense account for a website and goofed up. And so the AdSense got denied. Then they made a valid one and they were trying to link the valid one with their website and it wouldn't work properly, okay? And it's the same issue I was having, okay? So Jelsey went ahead and found this article of this guy writing, and he says, I figured out how to solve it. So, finally, I figured this out, and as of now, Wednesday night, I get DSP Gaming approved for monetization. So now it's do or die time, because I'm like, it's now in 2 days, right? Now it's early Tuesday morning, or early Thursday morning, excuse me. So at this point, it's now May 4th. And I'm like, it's do or die time, because they've had 2 days now to action a managed partnership on KO Gaming, and if they don't do it today, there's no way in hell I'm linking DSP Gaming, and I'm gonna fucking just basically back out of this whole thing. So I went back to them again, and I said, listen, this is it. The reason that I signed with you primarily wasn't the tiny bit of extra ad revenue you're going to give me over what I was getting with Curse. It's that I want the managed partnership. So if you don't get me the managed partnership by the end of today, I'm out. Okay? I waited. I got no response whatsoever. None. Zero. So I said, that's it. I'm done. Here's what I did. First of all, I was talking to them primarily on Skype. On Skype, I typed up a formal message. I hereby formally request the severance of our contracts for DSP Gaming and KO Gaming effective immediately. I know that legally you don't have the obligation to release KO Gaming for within a 30-day time period, but I request that you release it as soon as you can. I went to KO Gaming and I manually canceled it because there's a button you cancel, and then it even says your partnership or your link is now terminated, but there's a 30-day wait period legally that we have to have, but if they decide to sever you quicker than that, that's great, okay? Then I went to email and I typed him a formal email and I said, Dear Dibio, or whatever the hell his name was, I formally request that these contracts be canceled. I've had enough. You promised me one thing and you're not delivering. Therefore, it's a violation of our contract. Done. Okay. And I sent him the email. And that was it. As of Thursday, that was Thursday, May 4th. That was the last contact that I had with this company. I never spoke to them again. They never responded to my email. Nothing. No, I never heard anything from them again. All right. KO Gaming, within 2 days, was released from the link to Laria, so apparently they waited 2 days and they decided to release it. And of course, DSP Gaming, I never linked, so legally I had no problems with that whatsoever. There was no responsibility. Plus, the contracts that I had signed weren't legal contracts anyway, because they didn't have the fucking web addresses of the actual YouTube pages in them. Therefore, they were contracts for nothing. And as of that was it, that day, the 4th, I was legally done with them, and as of the 6th, KO Gaming was unlinked, and the whole thing was cleared up. Alright? Now, I've heard so much misinformation about people saying former employees of Laria were interviewed and said this or that. I only spoke with 2 people ever. One people's guy, the initial guy who started writing me via email, his name was Dylan. And then later on, apparently I talked to the CEO of Poltavi, who was Dibio. That was it. I never spoke with anyone else. I actually heard that supposedly someone who claimed that they were someone who worked for Laria said that they terminated my contracts because they did research and they found out who I was and that I had done unsavory things on stream and they couldn't have that. Completely false. All that information is 100% bullshit, because number one, they already knew who I was, and like I said, up front in the contracts, they wanted to claim videos on my behalf from This Is How You Don't Play. They knew all about This Is How You Don't Play. They knew all about the negative stereotype and stigma associated with me on YouTube. They knew what they were getting into when they were recruiting me. That was part of the thing they were using to try to recruit me, which I said I wasn't really interested in. So in that regard, that's absolutely ridiculous that they would even say that because there was some negative stuff associated with me that they severed the tie with me. That's complete bullshit. Number two, I severed the tie with them as of Thursday, May 4th. So regardless if they made any internal decision after that, I already legally given my notice and said I'm gone. So they had no action there. There's no way you could get rid of someone who already quit or severed the connection. And number three, okay, I never had I never had any legal agreement with Laria, period. I never had any agreement with them whatsoever. So if any employee of Laria went on any podcast and said anything, none of that applies to me because I never had a contract with Laria. It doesn't matter that if I had a contract with Poltavi, if Poltavi is a subsidiary of Laria, all I had a legal agreement with was Poltavi. Therefore, there was no way they could ever do anything anyway. Like, legally, they didn't have a leg to stand on. It would easily be dismissed in court. There was no legal contract that was ever signed. The only reason I went through with it is because I wanted to see if there's really a small and up-and-coming network. Maybe they were really getting into a managed partnership, and if that were the case, stretching it, I would do it. But the whole thing was just bullshit. The whole thing was literally garbage. The whole situation was basically a lie, okay? And it's terrible. That's really stupid, okay? That's really stupid. And it's now I learned my lesson, obviously. From now on, if I'm ever going to do dealings on YouTube, it's got to be with a company that has some kind of... If I search for them, I can at least find them on the fucking internet and find some information on them and get feedback about if they're a legitimate or a reputable company or not, because it's obvious there's some bad people out there who are trying to screw people over. I mean, more than likely what would have happened was they probably would have tried to link both my channels.
Excuse me.
Both my channels into this rigmarole, and led me on for months and months and months, promising me the world, alright, that, you're still gonna get the managed partnership. And the other thing was they had said that at some point maybe they could get me product sponsorships and shit. They probably would have just kept saying that and never giving me any of it. Meanwhile, they're rolling in the cash. The cash is coming in for them from my channels, right? So, pretty ridiculous, okay, that this is the whole situation. Now, here's the bottom line from what I learned, because after this happened, alright, after I was in this whole situation where my channels were now unlinked from Curse, so they were now running on a personal AdSense account, I said, you know what, since I went through all the trouble of creating this personal AdSense account and all of this, let me leave my channels unpartnered from anyone for 3 or 4 days, and let's actually see what kind of money comes in from a personal AdSense account versus an account that's not, or that's partnered, right? So it would be, Curse's ads running that are making money versus my own. Because the thing is that, Curse or any partner network takes a cut of your profits on the ad revenue. But if their ads are overall paying more, then maybe it doesn't make a difference, right? Maybe overall it makes sense to still be with that partner network because overall you're making tons more money because the ads are better. So I didn't know, and I said, let's do an experiment. So for 4 days, I allowed my channels, DsPgaming and KO Gaming, to be under a standard AdSense. Now, during this time period is when I started playing the game Prey, okay? So I was getting big views on DsPgaming at the time. That weekend, the views actually skyrocketed to almost double what they are on a normal day because people were watching the new playthrough. And by the way, all the ads were enabled. People were telling me, yeah, we're seeing the video ads, we're seeing the mid-rolls, we're seeing everything. The ads are working properly, okay? I had to wait, because the way YouTube works, you have to wait at least 2 days to get any kind of data on ad revenue. At least 2 days for it to refresh and get an update or anything like that, okay? So I wait 2 days, I wait 3 days, finally I start to get the data. I'm like, wait a minute, what the revenue that I made was terrible compared to what I was making with Curse. I'm not even exaggerating here, I was making daily about half as much as I was making when I was under the Curse partnership with my own personal AdSense. Now keep in mind, all the videos had ads enabled. There wasn't an issue where the ads didn't enable. No, all the videos had ads enabled. They all had the video ads that are supposed to be the high-paying ads. I was making half as much on my own personal AdSense. And I'm like, what? Like, seriously, this is absolutely god-awful. And the thing is, that was a weekend where if I was with Curse, I probably would have made a ton of money because that was the weekend that I was playing Prey. And I missed out on all of that. The ad revenue was absolutely terrible that weekend that I stayed on the personal AdSense. So that being said, folks, all that being said, after 4 days of being on my personal AdSense, I said, I can't do this. This is terrible, man. So I recontacted Curse. I said, here's the situation. I've been away from you guys for 1 week. It was actually that Monday, a week. So that was this Monday. It was the 8th, right? I wrote them and I said, I've been away from you guys for 1 week. Guess what? It didn't work out, just like I kind of was afraid of or I suspected. It did not work out. They lied to me. They said they were going to put me in a managed partnership. They refused to do so after only being with them 1 freaking day, right? So, listen, the revenue that I was making when I was with you at Curse is way more than what I was making on my personal AdSense for 4 days.
I'd be a buffoon to keep doing it myself. I want to go back with you guys.
And basically, Curse reiterated exactly what they had said at the beginning of the process. They said, okay, we'll take you back into our network, but understand, this isn't something that we're going to do for you every month. If you're going to do this now, we're hoping that you're going to at least stay for a while. And I said, listen, at this point, I'm not going to go fishing. I've already lost out on over a week of ad revenue on YouTube because I was fishing around, right? And I'd be an idiot to really play around anymore. I've had enough, and at this point, I just want to be back with Curse, and I want to get settled in. And, The funny thing about the whole situation is, I even had issues too, like when we were trying to re-sign me back to Curse, there was an issue where a tax form wasn't showing up or whatever. They solved it like this, like instantly. They responded, and they found the technical issue, and they solved it. So, unlike this stupid fake MCN or whoever they are, or unlike YouTube, Curse actually responds to issues and fixes them like this.
Wow!
You mean like a company that actually cares about people, or their customers, or the people who sign with them, and they actually want to have a good business relationship and make money?
What a fucking amazing concept.
That they would actually have a good working relationship and actually respond and fix problems. I mean, I never would have thought about that, right? So, yeah, that's the deal. So now, as of earlier this week, it was like Monday or Tuesday, I'm back in the partnership with Curse. I'm happy to report that after we got signed, they were able to bulk monetize all the advertisements on my videos, which was great. And I'm now back to making the decent amount of money that I was making with them in March and April on a daily basis. In fact, right now, the views are actually kind of down because now I just finished Prey and there's no new game right now. But I'm still doing pretty good, okay?
So that's my story. That's the full, true story of what actually happened the past few weeks.
Anything you heard from a third party on a podcast or a former employee doesn't apply and is complete bullshit. What I told you is the God's honest truth. My favorite part of the whole situation is that apparently someone from Laria, who, by the way, I never dealt with that company, claimed that they terminated their partnership with me.
What? I was gone on Thursday. I was at 100% already split and said, I'm done with these people. So anything they said happened after Thursday, May 4th is completely illegitimate. It's just absolutely fucking asinine. And of course they're going to do that. They're going to say that because they want to try to get attention. No way. No way. That's so stupid. It's such a lie.
And I'm glad that I finally got to clear the air here because that's the bottom line is, you know, you have so many people spreading misinformation around the internet. I knew eventually I was going to have to tell the full story, but I didn't want to just do a vlog. I'm going to do a podcast. This could easily be a nice segment on the podcast to clear everything up. So that's why I just did that like that, okay?
Oh my god.